Welcome to the Tool Review channel, and for today's video we are taking a look at the Hazet 810/6 VDE screwdriver set. Now this is a 6-piece screwdriver set from Hazet, and I believe it is manufactured in Slovenia. And part of this kit is you get the European style of voltage tester, which you see right here. Now this most likely is not something I would use here in the States. I don't feel comfortable sticking this in an outlet, considering it's just kind of that, just like a hard plastic resin that you see most common on some of the screwdrivers here in the States. But it is a voltage tester meant for the European market. So probably not something I'm ever going to use, but it is a nice little small flathead. So if I ever do need a very small flathead, I can most likely use this. So we'll go ahead and put him off to the side. And this set, you get 2 Phillips and 3 slotted, or if you want to count that voltage tester, you get 4 slotted, but you do get 3 slotted in the set. And to start off with, we'll start taking a look at the screwdriver itself. So this is more of the European style of screwdriver, whereas the ones in the States here kind of all look the same. I just kind of always liked this style of screwdriver. Klein, I believe, has a set very similar to this that is only offered over in Europe and in the UK. Their screwdrivers are a little bit different than ours, it seems, or at least some of the sets that they have there are different than ours, and I've always liked that set and decided to pick up this Hazet set instead. So this is the Hazet screwdriver. This is the smallest flathead that comes in it. I believe this is a 2.5 millimeter blade on here. And you can see you have a hole in the handle right there. So if you wanted to use it to hang it on a wall, or if you were working at height with this and you wanted to tether the tool off, you could do that as well. And then, like most VDE screwdrivers, or most VDE tools, I should say, they do feature the yellow and red color. And right here you have the Hazet name, and you have the 810 VDE-2.5 to indicate the length of the blade right here. And then you have your 1000 volt rated marking right there as a part of the plastic. And then you have a very small and fairly nice looking blade. And then you have your IEC 609 rating right there, which is just the standard for what insulated tools need to be. And then you have all your other verifications right here. So you got your VDE verification and stuff like that to prove that, you know, this tool went through the proper testing to show that it is going to protect you up to 1000 volts. So you have all that right there. And then you also have the year the tool was produced. So you have the 22, and that's just so that if, you know, 5-10 years from now you're still using this tool, it may be time to replace it if it's starting to show signs of wear and age. And then you have the yellow on here is like a soft rubber, which does feel nice in the hands. And as you can see right there, it does kind of fit fairly nice in the hands as well. And the insulation does have that slim blade design, so instead of being a thick insulation that goes all the way down the shaft, it does slim out, so you can get it into some of those breakers and some of those fittings like that you can't exactly get the large amount of insulation in. So that is the 2.5 millimeter flathead. Now we'll take a look at the 3.5, which is relatively the same, just a little bit larger in size, and the model number is slightly different. So there is your model number right there, which is 810 VDE-35. Pretty much the same as the smaller version on that guy, just a little bit larger in size, so nothing really crazy to write home about there. And one nice thing about these screwdrivers is if you don't want to buy the entire 6-piece set, and I believe they also have an 8-piece set as well, you can buy these screwdrivers individually. So all you would have to do is look up that model number right there, and you'd be able to find this screwdriver at whoever carries the Hazet tools. So that is the 3.5 millimeter. We'll take a look at this Phillips number 1 right here. And again, it's pretty much the same, except for the bit is a Phillips style of head. And so your model number for this guy is 810 VDE-PH1. And this is the more common size of screwdriver you would see here in the States. At least the most common ones that I use in the heating and air world is either going to be a number 1 or a number 2, whether it's messing with kind contactors mainly, or if you're, you know, working on anything for a unit, sometimes the boards are, you know, have screws on them, and sometimes the, you know, some of the thermostats have little screws on them as well. Could be Phillips or flathead depending on the brand. I know a lot of the new thermostats are now going to where it's just kind of a push fit connection, so you're not really going to need screwdrivers for that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So this is the Hazet Phillips number 1. Again, pretty much the same as the other two we looked at, which is fairly nice. So we'll go ahead and set him off to the side. Then I believe you have the 4mm right here. Again, a little bit larger of a flathead from the 3.5 and definitely the 2.5, which is nice. So that put him off to the side. And then the most common, at least the most common one I use, is the number 2 Phillips. And here it is. And I forgot to mention the model number for this guy is 810 VDE 40 or 4.0. And then you have the Hazet one here, or the Hazet 810 VDE-PH2, standing for Phillips number 2. And again, you got a nice large head. And one thing to note about these is the castings on them are fairly clean. There's not too much overmolding left on them, so you can tell that it is a fairly, I would say it's a fairly new casting, and where they replace the molds quite frequently with these. So overall, these are definitely a nice set of screwdrivers from Hazet. I originally was going to buy these a little while ago, but I kept putting it off, and one day KC Tool decided that they were going to make them the tool of the day. Now, I believe this set normally retails for about, I think it's like $80 or $90 if I'm not mistaken. And they listed it for, it was like $45, $50, something like that. And decided that instead of holding off and waiting, that I was just going to pull the trigger on these guys and get them before the price went up. So I'm not sure if they're going to make it a tool of the day, but I did end up paying a lot less than what they are normally retailed for, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Considering, like I said, I was looking at buying this set for a while now and just never pulled the trigger until I just saw a deal that I couldn't pass up and decided to actually pull the trigger on them finally. So I did pick them up from KC Tool. So I will leave them linked down in the description below if you want to pick one of these sets up for yourself. They're definitely a fairly nice design. Now, I'm almost convinced that they are made in the same factory as the Knipex insulated screwdrivers, because the boxes on them are pretty much identical. They do open a little bit differently, but the printing on them and the way that they're basically the same size box. And the screwdrivers to me just kind of feel the same. You know, the rubber feels the same. And they just, you know, I feel like the same, and they both come from Sylvania. So I'm assuming that there's a manufacturer out there that produces, you know, great quality screwdrivers for a lot of the big brands. So I'm assuming they came from the same factory, but don't quote me on that. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. So if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up as well. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video to be uploaded.